How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Girl in the Photographs. This is from 2015, directed by Nick Simon, and stars Claudia Lee, Kal Penn, Kenny Wormald, and also keep an eye out for Kathrine Isabelle from Ginger Snaps. And one other thing I do want to mention, this movie was actually produced by horror legend Wes Craven and would be the final project that he was involved with before he died. The movie actually came out shortly after he passed away, and the film is dedicated to him. So cool that he got to do one more project before he passed. And that being said, this is one of those movies that it always strikes me whenever I pass the DVD in the used media shop. That cool red hood and this mask with this like mascara running down its face like it had been crying. This face staring back at you was a super creepy DVD cover, and I've been meaning to check this movie out for a long time, and I always just thought that this would be some super scary dark movie. And now that I finally got to pick it up, yeah, it didn't really meet those expectations. Don't get me wrong, there are some good stuff with this movie. I really like that it's trying to tell this story of like a dark, true crime styled slasher story, and it does go into the way that true crime can be a little bit off kilter and a little bit weird. A strange true crime slasher, that's a really good place to go in from, and this also does have cinematography from Dean Cundey. That's the guy that shot John Carpenter's Halloween. Needless to say, the movie looks really good. So it looks good and it has a few really good ideas behind it, but at the end of the day, this movie was one that I wanted to like more than I did, and it just didn't quite fire. There's so many things, both from real world logic, but also from plot standpoints, that makes you say, I don't quite get that. I don't think that would really happen that way. And what are we even trying to say here? The movie also really banks on it being a mystery, but the clues don't really go together right, and the mystery itself isn't super mysterious. To be honest, what this reminded me the most of was late Dario Argento movies. If you ever saw Dario Argento's movie called Giallo, it really did remind me of that more than anything else. The way it kind of rambled, had some good visuals, some good ideas, but ultimately didn't quite make sense. And the thing that really got me is when the end credits started to play and it listed the 3 writers. You know who one of the writers is on this movie? Freaking Osgood Perkins. The guy that would go on to make Longlegs. And I think with this one, you can see Longlegs kind of trying to press its way through, because Longlegs is a quirky true crime styled mystery, but it works and this movie doesn't. And I don't know if it's just that this movie was earlier and that Osgood Perkins hadn't really figured things out, or maybe it's because he wrote the movie but didn't direct it. But I do also have one other theory about this, and that is Osgood Perkins is one of the 3 writers on this movie. I have a strong suspicion that he wrote the script, the director didn't quite get it, and tried to rewrite it to make it more of a generic horror movie. Because you know who those other 2 writers are? The director, and then some other random guy that I don't think has many other writing credits other than this. So yeah, it does really feel like maybe they patched it over, not really getting it. Yeah, like I said, it's a movie that I wanted to like more than I did, but it just came off as kind of a mess. A mess with some good ideas, but still a mess. But I guess in order to analyze it further, let's talk a bit about the plot. Now, don't worry, I won't be doing any major spoilers, but I want to break down and analyze a few things and talk about why exactly this doesn't quite work. So from here on out, let's take a bit of a deeper dive. We open up with two girls leaving a movie theater. They decide to split up, and after they split up, one of the girls is kidnapped. And in general, the scene is pretty effective, especially again with Dean Cundey shooting it. Well, the girl is eventually tortured and killed, but before they do that, they take several photographs of her, and then they leave one of the photographs in a place that Claudia Lee is going to find it. And it's marked number 7. She takes it to the police, and through a bit of dialogue, we find out that she's found the past ones as well, presumably 1 through 6. Someone is torturing her, just leaving photos of dead bodies in places that she's going to find them, and we get some of the most useless police in horror movie history saying, it's probably Photoshop, don't worry about it, we're not gonna do anything. Yeah, great, that's super, super unhelpful. And a few things I do want to say too is I think each photograph is of a different girl, like the past victims. And shouldn't that mean the movie's title should be the girls plural in the photographs? Yeah, it is kind of strange, and the past 6 photographs are only alluded to and we don't really see them. And it's supposed to be this big dramatic weight of, oh, I found another photograph, but by just cutting to number 7, we don't really get the sense of what exactly the past is like for this girl, and we don't really get all the weight that finding photograph number 7 should have. Well, eventually, though, she puts something together. She sees the photograph of the dead body next to another modern photograph of this model, and she realizes the killer is mimicking the photography of this artist. And then we cut to the artist, who just so happens to notice this at the same time she does. And the artist is Kal Penn's character, and I have to say he's really energetic and gives the movie most of its life. He's a parody of an artist being super big and full of himself, ticking everybody off. One of his models is his girlfriend, and it's this fun relationship where they both hate each other but also kind of love each other. They're not breaking up, but they're fighting constantly. And you get a lot of humor out of him. Now, that being said, the humor does not always land. There are definitely some jokes that crash and burn, like when he's comparing himself to the killer and he says, am I the Mac or am I the PC? I get where you're going for. It just didn't land. So yeah, the character is fun, but I definitely see some people not liking him. But the thing with Kal Penn's character is that he realizes, oh, this killer is mimicking me. I need to get on top of him. I'm going to go to the town where these killings are taking place. I'm going to take real living models, have them act like they're dead, and stage even more horrific photographs than the killer's doing. When he goes into town, he just so happens to bump into the girl that's finding the photographs and invites her over to the mansion he's renting in order to take photographs of her. And I have to say, at this point, we really do have to address how messy the plot gets. For example, when he meets the main girl and invites her over, he doesn't know that she's the one finding these photographs. That part is a huge coincidence. Also, we never actually get him taking any of these morbid photographs he spends so long talking about. We get him taking a bunch of other photographs, but he never does the morbid ones that would actually be interesting. We also, as far as the mystery goes, don't know why the killer is obsessed with either one of these characters. I mean, the main girl, okay, it's probably he's just attracted to her. That's not really fleshed out, but at least we get it. But why is he so obsessed with this random artist character? I don't know. What is the connection there? And as far as, again, the mystery goes, I won't spoil it for you guys, but we're actually told really, really early on in this movie who the killer is. But it's not really anyone interesting or impressive. It's just, hey, the killer's this guy, we're gonna tell you now. I mean, it's not really a good reveal, so maybe it's best that we didn't build it up. But hey, here's the killer, it's this person. And yeah, despite wanting to be a who's the killer mystery, it really doesn't actually do that. Like at one point the main girl realizes that the number 7 on the photographs is written in this super particular way, and she comes super close to actually figuring out who the killer is until she just randomly stops and just doesn't do that anymore. Yeah, what is the mystery structure here even doing? And to be fair, as far as the killer goes, again, I love his design, I love this cool mask. He's a creepy dude, and we also find out that he has like a henchman. Like there's this bigger guy with a different mask that kind of follows him around and helps him. I love the idea of a killer having a henchman. That's a super cool idea. And a few of the kills are okay. It's not like the best kills ever in slasher movie history, but in general the killer and the kills are fine. But I kinda wish they either made him more mysterious or leaned into being a better, more enjoyable slasher, because for like the first 2 acts of the movie, it plays it off as being a mystery, but it's kind of a fumbling mystery. And then the final act of the movie basically says, hey, let's be a imitation of the movie The Strangers. And I just wish one of these ideas had panned out better. Again, you can see where Longlegs was trying to poke its head through, and like you can see the seed of that trying to come into existence, but this movie isn't Longlegs. It's not near as good as that movie, but maybe you could see this as a little bit of a prototype if you wanted to. I love the off-kilter true crime. I like the design of the killer. I love the cinematography. But so much of the movie simply didn't make much sense, and in turn I couldn't really get into it. So overall, it's a movie that has some okay parts, but I totally wish it was way better than it is. An interesting little aside, especially it being the end of Craven's career and really darn near the beginning of Osgood Perkins' career, but outside of that bit of trivia and a few decent ideas, there's not really much going on here, and I do wish it was better than it was. Whatever though, fun enough, but not really great. Moderate recommendation to the right crowd, I guess. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. If you guys want to see more videos kind of like this, feel free to click right here and see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.